Getting our friends together isn't as easy as it used to be. We get it. Life comes at you fast. But trust us, your pals are desperate for a good hang. And when they hear you stock the party with drinks from Drizzly, they'll be banging down your door. Let Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery, take care of the supplies. All you need is an excuse. It doesn't even have to be a good one. It's your dog's birthday. The loquats are finally ripe. Whatever. With Drizzly, you can compare prices on a massive selection of beer, wine, and spirits and get them delivered straight to your door, which means you can entice the crew to leave their houses without ever leaving yours. Whatever the occasion, download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com. Today. Must be 21 plus. Not available in all locations. Man, I wish they had Drizzly when I used to play D&D and Riffs. Maybe it's time for me to start again. Thanks, Drizzly.
The podcast playground.
Hooray! Hey, it's my song. Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it, sing. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
What up, my fellow Coolest Geeks Alive? How are you doing out there? Care Bear stare to you all. Thank you for listening to my show. I really appreciate you being here. We keep growing. We've got some new sponsors. Please check out the links. There's some great offers for some things right now. For some HelloFresh, which is pretty cool, and like unlimited breakfasts and stuff. So if you hear these ads play, give an acknowledgement to these things, because it really helps us to be able to continue to grow our show and get this thing out there. So thank you guys so much, because if not for you listening, we wouldn't have all of these interesting opportunities with these advertisers and stuff, like Diet Smoke, which is pretty awesome. Diet Smoke actually sent me a care package of their mushroom gummies and their THC gummies, and I've been trying them out this week, and it's been pretty nice. THC things, they don't tend to work on me. I've shared them with my roommate, and he's been enjoying them. And but the mushroom gummies have been pretty effective. Definitely chilling out my body. I deal with a lot of chronic body pain, and it's been great. So it's really cool. Thank you to these sponsors for giving our show a shot, and I hope you'll give a shout, a try to some of these sponsors, because they're pretty cool. HelloFresh is also a company that I've used a bunch, honestly, because my brother was doing Twitch and he had a sponsorship with HelloFresh, and I was like, oh, cool, good excuse to start HelloFresh with his thing. And me and my girl Julie, we loved it. We were doing HelloFresh. We ended up doing it, for months. She's not doing it now because it was like a good thing for like 2 people. But they do have single meal options and stuff too. It's cool and worth checking out. Anyway, putting all that aside, just because I want to give proper respect to those advertisers who are putting money into our show, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm like dealing with life stuff right now, so I was so like, I gotta go do a fucking podcast, and I gotta like pretend like everything's okay. Everything's not okay, but it's actually awesome, because my show today. I've been like thinking about this for weeks. I'm so fucking aggravated about it. And I want to see somebody hold The Rock accountable for what he did, what he really did. And like after I was going over this week, when I went over, the history of the DCEU, looking at it the way I did, there's sort of like the first half of the DCU and like a second half of the DCU. And The Rock could have made the second half of the DCU matter. He could have kept this going. Everything that includes Black Adam and Shazam, at the very least, would have been greatly benefited by this. And this would have kept some version of the DCEU going. This would have kept Henry Cavill in there. They announced Henry Cavill was back as Superman. And then, after the returns of Black Adam weren't good enough, they said, never mind, we can't afford this. So what does that say? It says, if things were just a little bit better than they were, we would have been okay. We would have been able to continue on. But they weren't. And why is that? Why is that? Is it really all because The Rock wanted Black Adam to be in his own film, even though The Rock is the classic, sorry, not The Rock, Black Adam is the classic antagonist of Captain Marvel, Shazam, as you guys know him. Captain Marvel was his original name in the comics. There's a reason why Black Adam's suit and Shazam's suit look so similar. Their origins are tied together. The way this came out was sort of confusing for mainstream people. They put out Shazam, and then they put out a Black Adam movie that shared a number of elements with Shazam, but doesn't even mention him. Doesn't acknowledge his existence, anything. And then we get another Shazam movie that's completely cut off from Black Adam and whatever else because The Rock decided that he wanted Black Adam to be his own guy. I have a different theory. And I know people. I know Hollywood. I know how hard The Rock has worked to get himself into the position that he's in, to be producing these films as well as acting in them, to be able to write his own ticket on any level. So on this level, The Rock, if you ever listen to this, or any of your people ever listen to this, I sympathize with you. And I love you. I love you. I've been following your film career from the very beginning. I have gone to see every one of your movies. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I have a lot of friends who are big wrestling guys, and I was aware of you, and I'd certainly gotten your thing. But I saw something in you, and I thought, he's good at this. He can do this. He's really a talent. And I was right. If you guys are like me and you watched fucking Walking Tall or The Rundown with Sean William Scott, those movies are fucking awesome. And some movies like Doom and some other ones that he tried to do aren't so great. But some little cameo appearances in the sequel to Get Shorty was great. The Rock's great. He's a great actor. He's charming as fuck. He's a representative of a god man on earth, and he's probably doing steroids, most likely, based on every educated person. In general, when you see people who are that big, it's not possible. So it's a little bit of an irresponsible thing, that he's not honest about this, but most of these people aren't honest about this. But it's cool. The Rock that's his job. It's his job to be super duper man, because he's not even Superman. I'm going to be getting back in the gym, and I plan to get to Superman. And I can without steroids, I believe I can get to Superman. I can get to a decent, well-toned version across my body. I've been injured for a lot of years, but I used to frequent the gym, and I know what I'm capable of, and I can get to a Superman. But The Rock, he's this next level thing. He's this otherworldly thing. And it's wonderful. I love that he exists. I love him as an actor. I even appreciate him as a producer to a certain degree. It's funny, things that he'll say, and he really does understand pleasing the fans and making the audience happy. But in this instance, with Shazam and Black Adam, he fucking shit the bed so badly. And because I know you, Mr. Rock, as somebody who is out to please the fans, I go, what possessed you to disassociate yourself with the franchise Shazam and the character Shazam, where your character, your villainous character, is born from, and everything starts with? Why would Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson do that? Well, it's ego. But it's not ego of I want my own movie. It's actually much worse than that. It's an ego of, I say maybe a lack of reciprocity, a desire to not necessarily open up the door for other people. A lot of people get to the top and they don't want to open a door for other people. They don't want to lend their star power to other people. And I'm sure The Rock's seen, this guy becomes a star because he's in a movie with me, but that he has some sort of effect on things in one way or another. I'm sure he does. Like I said, the Rock has he's earned it. A lot of people didn't see so many of his initial movies because they don't have great taste like I do, or you do if you saw it, because you were like, man, I see something in The Rock. I think he's really good. So we went out to see Rundown. We went out to see Walking Tall and some of his early movies. Those are the two that I've just gone back to rewatch a million fucking times. But I can tell you, I saw generally like everything that he was in at the time. If they said he was in it, I went. And like it was bothering me actually that his movies weren't making more money because I thought he was really talented, and that made me double down. I was like, I'm gonna go see all The Rock's movies because I want Hollywood to know that he deserves it. He's fucking talented as hell, and I want people to know. So this is everything that I'm about to say here. As I fucking bad rap The Rock, I'm bad rapping him because he's a hero of mine, and I'm really disappointed in you, man. Honestly, I hope this information gets back to you. I hope one day I see you in an interview talking about how you mishandled this whole situation, exactly as I'm about to tell you mishandled this situation, because I think this is the truth. And maybe it wasn't even you. Maybe there was people around you. Maybe your wife was worried about this. Maybe the studio. No, I don't think the studio was. I think it's all you, man. It's got to be you and your camp. Ultimately, it comes down to you. What up, guys? Jesse Blaze Snider here. And whether your resolution is to save money, eat better, or stress less, HelloFresh is here to help you do all three. Say hello to your most delicious year yet with fresh ingredients and chef-crafted recipes at a price point you'll like, delivered right to your door. So you've resolved to actually sit down and eat dinner around the table like me. But what do you do about those nights when your schedule's packed, like mine always is? Turn to HelloFresh's lineup of quick and easy meals, including their 15-minute recipes designed to help minimize mealtime stress. It's really awesome, actually. My brother, Shane, he was doing Twitch, and he had sponsorship from HelloFresh. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we got a bunch of HelloFresh meals, and we ended up doing it for a few months because it was just awesome. It was super convenient. The biggest thing about it that I liked was that I didn't feel like I was wasting food all the time because everything was cut into portions exactly what you needed for the meals. And the meals were delicious. My girl was making them mostly, and I mean, they were really great and usually pretty easy to get done, like fast and stuff. I really highly recommend HelloFresh. It's quite a cool experience to just have that food show up to your door. Here's the directions. Here's everything pre-cut. And, you're just cleaning up the dishes to get it done. So go to HelloFresh.com/CoolGeekFree and use code CoolGeekFree for free breakfast for life. I'm so excited to offer that to you. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/CoolGeekFree with code CoolGeekFree. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Do you ever feel like life is a never-ending series of lessons while you try to find purpose, meaning, and answers? I am Vanessa Fontana, the host of Figuring Shit Out, a podcast where we undertake self-help, coming of age, and healing. As I live my 20s in New York City figuring shit out myself, I've realized that if you spend your whole life trying to get your act together, you don't have a life. You have an act. On Figuring Shit Out, every Sunday, you get to normalize the journey of not knowing and be guided into living your life with more intention and ease.
What do I think was the thing that affected The Rock's ego so badly that he decided that he didn't want to have anything to do with Shazam? I believe that it was actor Zachery Levi. I've met Zach a few times. I don't know him very well. I think he'd probably remember that he met me. He's a very nice guy, very pleasant dude. I am a huge fan of his through Tangled. I am a big Disney fan. I love Disney animation. I've seen every little scrap of Disney feature animation and, basically everything that Disney's ever done within like classic standpoint and then features. So like early like cartoons and stuff. At least once. and many of them many times. And I followed the Disney films. One of my favorite composers is Alan Menken and dude whose name I always forget, Howard Ashman. Yay, I got it this time. Woohoo! Howard Ashman. Oh my God, I always fucking blank on Howard Ashman's name. He's one of my favorite songwriters of all time. Man died before he could do so much. He was just like such brilliance out of that man. I love Disney. I'm a huge Disney guy. And for me, Tangled was the beginning of the new Disney Renaissance that I was promised when John Lasseter got promoted to the head of Disney Animation. And, oh man, Tangled. I know Frozen gets more fucking play and stuff, and it worked better for the little ladies, and so many people are obsessed with that one. But Tangled is where it's at, man. And part of the reason why Tangled is just so damn great is Zach as Flynn Rider. He's just so fucking charming. I mean, of course, when I met him, I was just like, first thing I said to him was like, dude, I gotta thank you for that fucking performance in Tangled. It is hysterical. You have some of like my favorite lines of all time in that movie from your delivery. Like the fucking like, this is the strangest thing I have ever done. When he's fucking fighting the horse with the frying pan. The horse has a sword, he has a frying pan, and the audience is thinking, this is hysterical, but this is sort of strange. This is like one of the stranger things I've ever seen. This horse, because Maximus was one of my favorite characters in any Disney movie ever. Maximus the horse, who behaves like a human being. It's the fucking funniest, simplest thing. Like he's a horse, and he can do what a horse can do. He can think as much as a horse can think. But as far as he's concerned, he's a human being. And he is doing his job as a human might do their job. And that fucking character is just hysterical. And culminating with him sword and frying pan fighting Flynn Rider, on the cliff. And this is the strangest thing I have ever done. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zachery Levi, for that fucking amazing performance, for making that film one of the greats. I mean, he is one of the shining star. If you have to pick a favorite aspect of that movie, I mean, there are some fun, magical ones and sweet ones that could maybe get you a little bit. But, oh, man, he is just definitely a leading man who carried that film with his voice. With his fucking voice. Zachery Levi carried Tangle with his voice. I think The Rock is scared. I really do. I think he knew that Zach is ready for prime time. Same way I know it. Zach's one of those guys, like you, Rock, that I was like, this guy's great. He deserves to be supported. Once I found out about Zach, I try to support his projects. I think he's a really talented and charming actor. He got screwed in the freaking Marvel films, being cast as one of the Warriors 3, which the Warriors 3 are great. They could have done great things with him, and he would have been awesome. Was Frandl was the one that he was cast as? That was awesome. Casting. But Marvel completely boned the Warriors 3, as they've just destroyed so much of Thor's world by not knowing what to do with it and how to handle it, because they don't know how to write well, and all of that material is like, it only really works when it's written well. Because, yeah, your protagonist is a god, and it's hard to fuck him up. So you really have to be clever and creative about the way you're telling these stories so that the stakes are amongst his friendships and various other things. And you build up this mythology, but they didn't do that. So Zach got a little screwed there with his Marvel casting. And then when I heard he got cast as Shazam, I was like, fuck yes. Dude is ready for prime time. And he got in shape. He looks great. He is a beefy, buff dude. Looks awesome. And fuck, man, he's charming as hell. He's such a endearing, actor. His voice by itself, playing a dicky, rapscallion kind of character in Tangled, you like him. You just want to like him. I guess he's known better for a show called Chuck, which I never saw. Like I said, I Tangled was my introduction to him. Although I meant to go back and watch Chuck because I like him so much, it just hasn't come across my Netflix or anything that I was like, oh, Chuck. But it's one of those shows that are on my list of things to watch. Zach's done a bunch of things, nothing too big. He has not been able to come into prominence. Shazam was a star-making vehicle for him. And I do believe it was as simple as, I'm going to make this motherfucker a star if I am his bad guy in his movie. The Rock said, you want me, The Rock, to come into your movie and turn this Zachery Levi character into a fucking household name? And The Rock's no fool. The Rock saw, fuck, dude's in shape. Dude's handsome. Dude's charming. Dude is a Disney prince. He's one of the Disney heroes, just like The Rock is one of the Disney heroes. But The Rock is a movie star, and Zachery Levi is not yet a movie star. And I do believe that The Rock, or at least somebody in his camp, pointed out that dude was about to pop off. And if he was in the movie, he would most certainly pop off. And The Rock possibly being in a position, especially when this movie was first begun to be talked about, him being Black Adam, these conversations have been going on for a long time. Long time. I think at least 6 or 7 years when we heard little rumors of these things or whatever. And then, of course, you didn't actually hear anything until Black Adam was announced because he removed himself from Shazam. He said, I'm not going to fucking launch this franchise and this career. I want to launch my own franchise. And I think that if it wasn't Zachery Levi, I think he would have probably been like, yeah, sure, I'll be the best thing in the movie. But that's not the case. I mean, maybe there's an argument that didn't matter who it was. But it is fucking convenient, Rock, that he happens to be ready for prime time. Buff and stuff, charming as hell, a fellow Disney protagonist. Isn't it interesting that you refused to fucking job for this guy? Isn't that the thing? You're a wrestler, man. You come from the wrestling world. You've jobbed for people before. You've jobbed for worse people before, far worse people before. Sometimes you got a job for fucking bums. And for those of you who don't know wrestling jargon, when you job, it means you lose the fight. You throw the fight. It's not a real fight. We choose who it is. And when you're jobbing for somebody, that means you're making them look good. You're lifting them up for the sake of the rivalry, for the sake of the future. How do you not job to Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movie and establish Black Adam as a badass, dominant threat? You might not have even had to job to him. You probably could have just showed up, kicked his ass a little bit, gotten the fuck out of there, and been like dust in the wind, like, what the hell happened to that guy? Oh shit, what happens when he comes back? Oh, well, he's got his own demons and he's dealing with things or whatever. But there were ways to do that where you would have came out smelling like roses as a great heel, and people would have been fucking excited, and they would have followed you over to the Black Adam movie, and more people would have seen the fucking Shazam movie because you were in the Shazam movie. Fucking asshole. You were in the Shazam movie. More people would have seen that. More people would have fucking came over to you in the Black Adam movie. So I want to look at some of these years. Let's see. So 2013, you got Man of Steel. And then by 2018, you've got Aquaman. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's 6 years to get to Aquaman, to make $1 billion. And if you followed the history of the show last time around, we were like talking about how it just drops off a cliff after this. Shazam, the first one, made $363 million. But that is the heights of it until you get to Black Adam, which made $393 million. So what did best here? Shazam and Black Adam. Still not so great. Shazam 2 then, of course, drops off a freaking cliff because they announced James Gunn's coming in to rebrand everything. And probably Zachery Levi's not going to be Shazam anymore or whatever. And that only makes $132 million. Imagine that Black Adam had been in Shazam in the first place, the first one. Establish that. Maybe that $363 million is $550 million. And maybe it's $400 million. It's definitely more. It's definitely more than 363. It's more. So we'll go with $450 million. $450 million. Then Birds of Prey sucks and Wonder Woman sucks, but Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out and okay, we like some of that stuff. Suicide Squad comes along, okay, that introduces some interesting things into the world. So now we've got like 2 successes. We've got a version of the Justice League works, a version of the Suicide Squad works, and now Black Adam comes along, and we were introduced to him in Shazam, and we're excited. We've been waiting now since 2019. So 1, 2, 3 years to find out what's going to happen with Black Adam. And now we find out. And there's a little stinger at the end of the movie that ties it to Captain Marvel for some reason. Oh, no. And now Shazam 2 in 2023, next year, is a sequel to Black Adam as well as a sequel to Shazam. And The Rock's in it. Or at least maybe it has a little something to do with him. But at the very least, The Rock follow-up thing, maybe we only got a tease in the first one. The Shazam thing in Shazam 2, The Rock, he kicks Captain Marvel's ass or something. It ends in a way that's, shit. And like, dude, this franchise would still be going. Like, no, you don't have to restart the whole thing. You don't have to recast everybody. The stuff that people like, you found your footing. You were starting to find your footing. Like this, if this was working, the parts that were working, it would have kept going. And Henry Cavill would still be Superman. And there'd be, a rejiggering of things. But we would start maybe getting to the thing. So, I mean, hey, I don't know where you're at with it. If you want a complete 100, reboot entirely, I mean, maybe I did. But it depends what it was. And this one that we're getting with James Gunn and fucking Peter Safran, it's not it. It's not what I was asking for. Not what I was looking for. I don't know if it was what you were looking for. I like this other thing better where they were like starting to recognize what the fans were actually enjoying and steering in that direction. And then if The Rock had not fucking royally fucked up Shazam, it would have been tentpole throughout this shit. It would have helped the whole of the DC universe, and they wouldn't have had to make such a crazy adjustment at this. But they could have still, brought in James Gunn. But instead of like James Gunn's going to come in and reboot the universe, it would have been James Gunn's coming in to right the ship, to take all these great pieces that we have and point them in the right direction, so we can give the fans the DC universe that they deserve. I mean, right? Am I out of my mind? Am I out of my mind, or did The Rock's ego prevent him from lifting up Zachery Levi, who is totally ready for prime time, but not quite yet a movie star, and could be, should be? I think so. I think so, man. Well, I'm not going to spend too long sitting and yelling about The Rock. I think I've put a bullet in the coffin. No, you know what? I do have to end this on something important, right? Because this is typical bullshit. People not wanting to lift up other people, people not wanting to lend their strength to the other people's strength. I got to the top of the mountain, well, so now I'm going to pull you up to the top of the mountain? Yeah, that'd be nice. You got to the top of the mountain? Yeah, it'd be nice if you helped everybody. You're like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's like this deficit between like mountain and like floor, and there's like a shitload of us on the floor, and then there's like some of you guys who are figuring out how to get to the mountain, and we've been watching how everybody gets to the mountain, and it isn't exactly fair. It's not exactly fair. It's not like, oh, I see. If this, then this. Oh, if this, then... No, not exactly. Not exactly. And Zachery Levi, who is totally a ready for primetime dude who should be a movie star, I think. I think somebody who can carry a film. I think he's got a Ryan Reynolds-like energy, but in his own right. And, he's somebody who should be able to be making it in Hollywood pretty damn good. And there's no reason why he shouldn't be a household name and stuff. And I think The Rock lending his star power to the movie would have lent star power to Zach, because it would have given Zach an opportunity to freaking act against somebody who is his equal. And The Rock, like, come on, man. Don't only act with the people who are your equal, who have already been established at the top, because like they're validating you by being there. Now that you're at the top, you need to be willing to validate some of these other people who are in slightly lesser positions and lift them up. And like, it seems like there's a little bit of a reluctance to do that based on certain things that I hear and see from you here or there, which is, that's like the fucking Vin Diesel behavior, right? So, and I know it. I get it clearly. Vin and Elvie, you guys are talented people mostly. And, you gotta recognize that this system sucks. And yeah, everybody's like trying to take it from you and all this stuff like that. But like a little help and assistance and goodwill goes a long way. I'm one of those people who believes that, the universe will amplify whatever good you put into it 10 times. You give to the universe and it will amplify that thing. It doesn't always amplify it in exactly the ways that you want to, but it will. It will amplify your goodwill. The more goodwill you can put out into the world, the more good you can do in the world, the better for you, the better for everybody. And like this thing, like to me, I think The Rock is the idol of millions. I think he really is. And I think a lot of people look up to him. A lot of people watching his behavior and learning from him and, making him a sage for them. And I don't love this. I don't love how this was handled. It's insane that this guy who cares about the fans, right? I think you do. That you would ignore the fucking history of Shazam while playing Black Adam? Forcibly remove yourself from the origin that you have? Because I'm The Rock. Lame. 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 Maybe that's what I should call this episode instead. Lame. I want to call it ego. Lame. It's so fucking lame. Lame. Lame, 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 lame. I expect better. I expect better from people. It's like it disappoints me. Like somebody like Logan and Jake Paul. These assholes, they are so bad to each other. They are bad brothers. I have sons who watch them, and I watch them as a father, looking at them as brothers. And as brothers, they suck. They suck shit, man. All they do is talk shit about each other and like fucking emasculate each other. They're such assholes. And it's very clear that the younger brother isn't really looking to do that. He's literally just like fucking defending himself against his older asshole older brother, who's like really just screwing the pooch. And just, what a fucking jerk off that guy is. I kind of put it to him a little bit because the younger brother, he seems sad about it. Like, I've seen videos where he's like, yeah, it's a bummer, And I mean, he goes after the brother too. I mean, you see them interact together, but I mean, he's just like interacting with this person in this thing. I saw a clip the other day, some stupid clip somebody sent to me of like these two girls on some stupid show, and they were like, basically the one sister was putting the other sister down and saying that she was the more attractive sister. And that her sister, well, she had all these problems. She was like just like talking shit about her sister on a podcast in front of the world. Who are these people? I'm like, seriously, what the fuck? This sucks. And I really do think that there's a bit of like just stupid ego, gorilla ego on display here in this Shazam Black Adam stupidity. I think that if The Rock's ego did not exist, the DCEU would still be going with Henry Cavill, for one. And maybe we would still have James Gunn. But it wouldn't have been like this, like, complete, grab the wheel. Somebody grab the wheel, and now we fly off the road. Wah! Off into the unknown, everyone. Because those books that they announced, those do not any sort of cohesive DC comic book universe make. I promise you. It's very odd, the choices that have been made, honestly. It doesn't have a lot of future thought put into it from what I can tell. And if it does, they're walking that DC universe off a fucking cliff, because there's nothing that any of this shit is based on that it's going to all coalesce together. Getting the Authority into the proceedings so quickly into the DC universe before a Justice League that anybody gives a shit is established. There's just so many problems for the DC universe going ahead. And I think it would have been better off with Black Adam fucking being played by somebody else actually at this stage of the game, because I think if they could have got somebody who was at least great, like, that would have helped things. But I mean, The Rock probably is, he's the fucking Rock, and I love him. But, like, holy shit, man. Almost, congratulations. Your ego almost was able to do its ego thing, and you were almost able to have your cake and eat it too. But almost doesn't quite cut it, and now you've got nothing. So next time, put your fucking ego aside and don't gut, I don't know. It's insane. Like, when did the fucking Captain Marvel come out? In, like, the freaking 60s or 50s? Something. It's been out for a long ass time. Decades and decades and decades and decades and decades of history. People who like Captain Marvel know that, Captain Marvel, Black Adam, Dr. Sivana, the Wicked Worm, there's some characters that we associate with this hero. And Black Adam is one of them. Any reason why we might have seen Black Adam ultimately stems from Captain Marvel. And sure, some people have read the Justice Society of America and gotten that evil Superman thing or whatever, but it's established with Shazam. There's a pantheon of characters from this world, this Shazam world, where lightning strikes you and you become this all-powerful Superman. And Superman, has to deal with the members of the Shazam family here or there, and each one of them is different and unique in their own way. And it's a very interesting and cool aspect of the DC universe that has been created over many, many years by people like Jeff Johns and David Goyer and James Robinson. And it's awesome. It's awesome. I really just love that stuff. I mean, the Justice Society of America is some of my favorite comics I've ever read. Jeff Johns is one of my favorite writers. I would follow him anywhere. But he did that with James Robinson and David S. Goyer, who wrote the Blade films and the Dark Knight trilogy. This is so disappointing. Disappointing how clear it was to see that the second half of the DC on film slate would have been so supremely helped and even definitely saved, because it was a small margin with Henry Cavill and a major change and shift taking place. This would have saved it. The Rock could have saved the DCEU, but his ego won out. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today, my fellow coolest geeks. I've got an awesome book called Fucking for Our Future on Fund My Comic right now. It's fundmycomic.com/fucking. They made me censor the curse word out of the book on the website, but I got away with the URL being /fucking, and I'm really proud of that. It's a really funny book. There's a long preview there. You can go check it out. It's for mature readers. But very, very, very fun. I think girls, boys, everybody will really enjoy it. It's just meant to be like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, and I think we've achieved that pretty good. Anyway, I'm your passionate geek culture commentator, Jesse Blaze Snider. You can write to me at jesseblaze@jessesnider.com. I love it when you do. I love you all so much, and I look forward to hearing from you on my emails and also on my Twitter. What am I? Coolest Geek JBS? Yeah, at Coolest Geek JBS on the X. Anyway, thank you for listening to my show. I hope you'll listen some more again next Saturday and this coming Wednesday for another ass-kicking episode of the Coolest Geek Alive. Love you. Peace. You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snider. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.
It's my favorite part. Isn't that heavy? I'll play that. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Coolest alive. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I got lyrics coming out me bum for days. You like that? It's a kazoo solo. I played that too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living your shit. My voice is fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right or text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top. Awesome. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see. You'll all see.